Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwartner, and welcome to Selling Power TV. Today, we have the great pleasure of speaking with Ori Zuckerman. He is the founder and CEO of Substrata.me. Welcome, Ori.
Thank you, Gerhard. It's really great to be here.
You are in Tel Aviv in Israel, and you founded a very fascinating company that helps salespeople reading between the lines in the communication. And how is business going for you?
Doing great, even under these circumstances. I guess because the demand is huge for getting revenue, closing deals. It never stopped and it never stops. And I guess businesses are even more eager these days to generate more revenue themselves.
You said something really interesting, Ori, which is if the salesperson is able to create the right frame in a conversation, they have a greater chance of winning the sale. Can you explain what does framing mean?
Framing and frames are a version of perspectives. Framing, in essence, it's part of any deal-making process where you have, I'm talking about the high-ticket ones, where you have a prospect or a potential buyer on one end and a seller or a deal maker on the other end. And they will debate, essentially, on what's the right perspective. Each one of the parties will bring his own perspective, and the frame collision will allow them eventually to reach an agreement or not reach an agreement. But usually one frame will dominate.
Can you give me an example of a framing situation in a sales conversation?
Prospect will say that the price, for example, doesn't seem to be reasonable. The seller will try to reframe the situation. Okay, maybe for you it doesn't seem reasonable, but given a certain amount of circumstances, the value that you're going to derive, what's going to happen if you're not going to implement this in the coming 2, 3, 4 weeks, the loss that you're going to miss if you don't. In this specific situation, the frame game is about increasing or trying to add more and more context to the debate in order to win the frame game. And eventually, one side is going to be seduced to agree to the bigger perspective, the more relevant perspective.
That is sort of what I would call a value frame. How about a framing time?
Framing time basically is letting the other person know that your time is worth more, therefore, you are worth more, therefore, you are the more important person, therefore you get the upper hand in the situation, and that allows you to win. That automatically puts the other person in a situation where he or she thinks that they have to submit to your frame. And the more subtle you do it, the more convincing you are actually.
What if customers drift away? How do you get them back to the frame? And what skills do you need to have in order to do it in a way that you don't offend or hurt the customer's feelings?
I think in a way, the deal maker needs to remember the track that he needs to be on, he or she needs to be on, and at the same time, listen carefully to what the prospect is saying, and then try to find triggers or hooks in what the other person are saying that can connect him back on track. In a way, so you're saying this is XYZ, and this is funny, I totally agree. And by the way, that also reflects back to what we're doing here.
How does the sales manager make salespeople aware of their ability to frame the conversation and use frames in the conversation to get the upper hand and win more deals?
I would focus on getting the results and sampling conversations, or asking the salesperson or the deal maker in a way that is empowering, like what did he or she do in order to get the prospect, into the right zone, into the selling zone, into the buying zone.
Tell us about how your customers are using Substrata to win more deals in a tough economy.
I think what's nice about Substrata is that this is not part of the sales enablement world where you have a lot of tools that help you manage the process. We're less about helping people manage the process. We're more about helping you close the deal, managing the sales interaction with the other party directly, spot on. So you have this engagement with a prospect We literally help you simulate your responses and predict what you say and what effect it will have on the other party. And this literally pushes the deal forward and helps you close. And it's all based on data. It's all data driven. It's all based on deep learning models. We analyzed well over 3 million sales emails by now. Businesses are keeping their cards close to their chest. They don't want to buy anything that's not critical. And you need to sell. You need to grow. You don't have a lot of other options.
Ori, I think your company and your excellent team, you provide a wonderful service to the sales community, and you're contributing to the elevation of the sales profession in difficult times. So thank you very much for your time. And I suggest that anybody who wants to learn more, go to substrata.me.